Hello and welcome to my podcast, Conversations with Cornelius, where I, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, discuss, chat and hypothesize on all things from fatherhood, marriage, comedy and everything else in between. From time to time, there will be special guests, but mostly it's going to be me and some regular contributors, including my main squeeze, Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan, aka the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius. Go. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. I hope you're all keeping very well. I'm speaking like I am in the movies. And coming up next is Star Wars, starring Darth Vader.
Do you know the new series now is hit fucking Disney Channel, is it? New Star Wars fucking series.
What one is that?
I don't know, there's so many of them.
Oh, I saw that.
It looked absolutely stupid.
This is the greatest Irish sports podcast ever. I'm trying to come up with a name for this weekly series. So I'm thinking of calling it the greatest Irish sports podcast ever. It's snappy.
We could make it snappier, I think.
The greatest Irish sports podcast ever.
This isn't your main podcast, sure, isn't it?
No. Well, it is. It is my main podcast. This is a little
aside.
It's a little summer exercise where I want to just talk about sports. Would you mind, Guy?
Yeah, would you mind, Guy? Yeah.
It's a Thursday.
Can I just
sojourn?
The lads don't know if they're listening to the podcast, but we've lights here now today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking very professional.
Yeah. Well, last week we filmed this, or at least we thought we filmed it, and it cut out halfway through. So I couldn't put it up on YouTube, but
that light is very it's balanced very precariously on a stool that's on another stool. That's just by the grace of God, just literally hanging on there.
Yeah.
Very high tech.
Well, that's what I'd be known for. I'd be kind of known as a high tech.
I feel you were stumbling around the place and Noelle, your better half, your much better half.
Yeah, she is.
Came to the rescue, so
she is.
Cheers, Noelle.
Yeah, thanks, Noelle. Thanks very much. Noelle would be very well known to the podcast listeners as a lady that I sleep with on a regular basis.
The wife.
She's my wife. She's my wife. So, just in case this is your first time listening to this is a Thursday podcast that I'm going to bring out for the summer. There's a lot of sports happening this summer. We've got the European Championships that are in full flow. We've got the All-Ireland series, hurling and football, that is in full flow. And we got the Olympics that are in full flow. And then by the time that's over, then I'll know whether
we'll be dead.
Do you know, we could be dead.
We'll probably be dead, yeah.
There's a good chance we won't be alive.
That's the end of that's mid-August.
Well, I'd be hoping to be definitely alive in mid-August myself. But Pete could very well be dead.
Imagine if I did die.
Imagine if you died.
This is a prediction.
Yeah. And
my last prediction.
He's a mentalist, so he makes predictions for a living. So if you don't lie, or if you don't die, it'll be very detrimental to your career.
I had somebody who used to hang around. He was a mentalist, and he used to write a piece of paper in his pocket, and the piece of paper used to have, today is the day that I will die, and he'll sign the day's date.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then people saying due to insurance reasons and stuff, that there could be a problem.
Why?
So they might say, he offed himself or did something.
All right.
Yeah, so life insurance. So he stopped doing it, didn't he?
He stopped doing it then from insurance. Now, look, what I will say, lads, is I wrote today I was going to die and I'm not feeling great, but I couldn't write it out because, I need the old family to get the few quid if I do actually, expire.
It's pretty cool, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a good idea.
Imagine finding that, geez,
oh my God, Peter's dead. What's this in his pocket?
Oh
my God, look. Look what he wrote this morning. It's dated as well. Look, remember people used to take photographs of themselves beside the newspaper.
Yeah. But no, everything can be fake now, can't it?
Yeah.
It's technology so much, it doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't.
That's proof. I'm actually holding today's paper and that's a photo of that.
Yeah, but 30 years ago, that was definitive proof.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas now, that's just, sure, he could have just got that printed.
But sure, even now, you're using technology for your Donald Trump sort of thingy where you got fucking
shadow band.
You got shadow band, yeah.
Yeah.
So even you're completely incompetent with technology.
Yeah.
You can even use it.
Yeah. Thanks.
So that's how far it's going.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Welcome to the podcast. My guy, you've really built me up there. I don't know where to go from here. I'm fucking. Do you know what would really cheer me up though? Right, would be last week we did a series of bets on the podcast.
We did.
And what we're going to do every week is we're going to pick something to have a friendly wager on, right? And the friendly wager that we have agreed upon is €10. If we see something else as a side bet,
Can I just interject there 1 second? The one too friendly, you text me immediately upon your victory of the bet, and the bet, and I was very I was very gracious. And in the other bet, I didn't say anything. I just left it go.
What was the other bet?
The other one was Cork against Tyrone.
That's because the Cork and Tyrone was the following day.
Cork and Tyrone was on the same day.
It was on the following day.
It was on the same day. And what did I do? I did nothing. Not a text. I was like, do you know what? He's probably hurting anyways.
Yeah.
I'm not going to compound this hurt.
Well, what you would have done now is you were waiting. I know you were waiting for the other match to finish so you could say, can I have my 15 in a 10 euro note and a 5 euro note? And look, you're a man of integrity. I'll say that. You are genuinely a man of integrity. And I know that you're going to hand over the crisp note today, right here, live on YouTube. The crisp note. Can I have it?
Well, I'll hand over the money that we agreed upon. There was nothing said about notes.
And look, you're a man of integrity. You're not going to be handing me over like shrapnelly.
So
what's this?
Can you hear that? So that's 2 2s and a 1.
You're giving me
which
coins.
adds up to €5.
Coins. You saw it there now, lads. That is how petty he is. Coins.
Money is money.
It is money. I'll take it, and it makes.
And can I just say as well, we're 1-1 in the betting stakes.
No, you can't say that. What we're doing is we're counting the score of the financial score, because that is the best way to keep it. Because finance is where it's at.
That hurt me now financially.
You're down
€5.
a fiver.
That hurts.
But you have a chance to be up a fiver if you win the next bet, which is a tenner.
You're trying to draw me into it. It's like a very bad.
Look, listen, I think you've got a great chance now in the next bet, right? So our bets last week were how did I win that money?
Well, the first bet was Cork against Tyrone. That was a neutral venue. Tyrone won, which I predicted, of course.
You did. And in fairness now, I kind of gave you that because the main bet we went for was Croatia versus Spain, and you had Croatia in the draw. I was like, I'll give you Croatia and the draw here. And in fact, if you listen back to the podcast, you'll actually hear because I listened back to it yesterday, kind of really build up how Croatia are the dark horses, and I think this is it, and it's going to do for Modric, and they lost anyway to Spain 3-0. So
the 3-0 very
the prediction wasn't great there at all.
Very flattering. Missed the penalty, a goal disallowed, plenty possession. Had more shots on target, more shots in general too. So just very unlucky.
Yeah, 3-0. Very unlucky 3-0 defeat. You don't hear many unlucky 3-0 defeats in life.
Well, the odd time we seen one last week, didn't we?
And then the other match was the GA match, and that I went with my heart. I'm not going with my heart anymore. I'm actually just going with my head from here on in.
Well, we should. You know what we should do? Potentially we're going to that Lodi game. We have to get tickets. No, we're under the impression that tickets will be grand. But they may not be grand. We should do kind of a mini podcast on the way home. Do you think?
Oh, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah,
that'd be a good idea.
We're brainstorming fucking.
Yeah. So before we get on to the GA, let's talk about the European Championship. Have you watched much of the European Championships?
I am watching a decent chunk of it. No, I'm not a huge soccer man, but I love fucking big soccer tournaments. I love World Cups. I love European Championships. I watch the Nations Cup and African Championships. I like that. I like the big competition. So I have been watching it. And it's interesting enough because I don't know a whole pile of players. So there'll be this young phenom like from Spain who's 16.
Oh, what's his name? He was unreal.
Unbelievable, yeah. They were even saying like he's taking his homework to the competition, which it's mad. Like
I think that's crazy. If you're good enough to play for your country at 16 in this day and age, you're probably a millionaire already.
Quit school.
You don't need to be doing fucking Obervalia.
Yeah.
Inside in the dressing room, sitting beside who plays for Spain. That's fucking. Is Casillas still playing with Spain? We're an up-to-date podcast, guys. All our references are. Raúl is definitely. Is he talking off?
Raúl is there.
What about Hierro?
Hierro is playing number 6. Yeah.
Do you know who's fucking very good for Spain? Is Emilio Butragueño.
But he was back in the late 90s, was he?
Yeah. Can you remember the team he played for? What soccer?
Was it Barcelona?
Real Madrid.
It's always one of the big two.
The big two.
Yeah.
Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Hala Madrid.
They're legends.
I have just as on a side note, right? And I think you're Barcelona, aren't you? If you did
when I was growing up, I used to always follow Barcelona.
Yeah. So this is my thing. I've actually only thought of this recently, and I was like, why haven't I thought of this? So I love Barcelona,
right?
And I love Real Madrid, which is like saying I love Man City and I love Man United. If you're
in a way,
right? But you can't really do that if you're like in football. You kind of have to pick a side. You kind of go, look, I'm going to go with this side. This is the side I like. This is the side I'm going to follow, and then I can like other sides if I want to. But this is the team I follow. But I've been up and down between Real Madrid and Barcelona. Like Maradona played with Barcelona. Maradona's my favourite player of all
So you
time.
Luis Figo, you Ronaldo, the number one Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo. You had what you call
Fat Ronaldo, and that's fat with a PH18.
He's a big lad now, but he was amazing. All those knee injuries, they cost him big time. You had, sure, who was the big the Brazilian striker who used to top Romario was a.
Do you know who they had? Who was actually I think he was a fella called Messi.
Messi was decent, yeah.
He was decent. You could say that they possibly have had the greatest players of all time, Barcelona.
Yeah, and then I suppose Real Madrid. I remember Galacticos, the fucking collection of fucking
Steve McManaman,
Steve Mac, yeah.
David Beckham,
Luis Figo, fucking Zinedine Zidane.
Zinedine Zidane would get into the all-time great of midfielders.
He probably would,
He
yeah.
was one of the best midfielders of all time. They had
Although, if you
Raul.
think about it, though, would he though? Because you'll have one creative lad, and you probably have one destroyer, punisher. So would he be your number one creative midfielder?
He'd be my number one. He'd be my number 8. He was 6'2". He was extremely strong.
Yeah.
He was extremely fast.
Yeah.
He was athletic. He could kick with both feet. He had a bite in him as well. He had a little bit of nastiness, as you could see.
Roy Keane said he was very tough to deal with. Yeah, very physical. Like
You saw in his very last game when they were playing the World Cup, his very last thing of his whole international career, he headbutted.
That was his last.
That was his last game of all. Like, he headbutted Marco Materazzi in a World Cup final.
He actually fucking
Called his sister a whore.
Was his sister? I thought he was his man, but his sister, both equally. They're bad.
Yeah. Like that's a terrible thing to say. I don't know if it's true or not, and if it is, sure.
Whether he reacted for why
trying to make a living. Okay. Do you know what I mean? How does he know what like that? Like that's his sister's own business. You know. I think prostitution should be legalized. Okay, it's the oldest trade in the book. All right. It's the second oldest.
What's the oldest?
The pimp. The pimp.
Oh, the pimp.
The pimp would be the oldest, getting it all organised.
Okay, yeah.
He's got to get paid as well. A pimp has to get paid. Who are the greats from Real Madrid? Hugo Sanchez.
Raul was number one.
Raul Puskas.
Who was the fucking Herrero?
Herrero.
Oh, we never mentioned Puyol as well. He was a fucking leader for Barcelona.
Sure. I'd say do Barcelona nearly. But then again, right? I'm coming to a point here, right? So who have they got? Cristiano Ronaldo. Obviously, I think Messi. I think Messi's better than Ronaldo. If I had to pick one of them for a team, I'd pick Messi.
It's kind of like Messi's kind of made with the hand of God, and Ronaldo's made in the science lab. Isn't it like that?
Oh, that's a good analogy. Yeah.
He's just this fucking like 6. What is Ronaldo? 6'1", 6'2", just a powerhouse filled with muscle. Just built completely in just through science. Whereas Messi is just.
He just has it.
Oh, he just has it. Yeah. It's a gift. Like, but obviously born with gifts, but Messi is just.
I think Ronaldo made the absolute most of his God-given talents.
Yeah. Oh, his work ethic.
Yeah. Now, this is the thing, right? You never hear Messi go on about his work ethic. We don't know. Messi could be working just as hard.
Yeah.
But he could just be more humble, because what I don't like about Ronaldo is the arrogance, you know. I don't like arrogance. I don't find it an attractive quality. And they say, oh, you need to have a little bit of arrogance walking. Do you?
Yeah, I know.
Do you? Like, Messi is so humble, like, and he's he's actually a team player as well. But yeah. Oh, my point anyway was getting on. I think I'm going to, even though I'm talking it out loud here now.
Oh, you're going to pick one right now?
I think I'm going to go at Real Madrid, and I'll tell you why, okay?
That's an unusual.
I'll tell you why. There's a reason behind it.
What's this?
So they're the all-time European Cup winners. They've won the European Cup, the Champions League, the most ever. I think they've won four. I think Kroos has 4, 5 or 6.
That's unreal, yeah.
Right? And Liverpool are always like, oh, yeah, we only won it 5 times. I'm like, yeah, well, that's Liverpool. Yeah, well, I'm Real Madrid. I support Everton as well, but Real Madrid are like my team in Spain.
So your hatred of Liverpool has moved you to the dark side.
Has pushed me to support Real Madrid because we have more Champions Leagues than Liverpool.
I see the abuse you get online from that the odd time. I like clicking on to your page when I'm feeling a bit sad. I just go, how's the hate mail there with Cornelius? Geez, those Liverpool fans, they get stuck in, don't they? Some of them.
Empty tin cans make the most noise, man.
Well, I wouldn't say all of them. I wouldn't describe all of them as that. Good 90 odd.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Most of them, even the intelligent Liverpool fans, are stupid. When it comes to football, they lose all rhyme and reason. They're dopes, and they're aggressive dopes as well. And I am standing by that.
Has ever anyone said anything to you outside online world? Or is it just always online?
It's always banter off. Once it's off online, it's generally banter. It's
Yeah,
it's never. I've never had anyone come up and go, "Come here, you fucking cunt, boy! How'd you fucking like?" You know, I have sensed it once or twice, and I'll just kind of go, "Hi, how are things?" and slip away. Do you know that kind of way?
Oh, how do you mean? Were they give you the look, or were they fucking...
One or two. I know one particular lad is very annoying.
What's his name?
I'm not going to say. I call him Kevin Durant. And he used to be just kind of trying to stoke the fires and trying to get into like arguments before gigs, like, you know. And I'd be like, no, I'm not getting into this argument.
Oh, fuck it. That's weird, isn't it? I find it very weird if a person is taking it offline and being aggressive about a team that's playing across the water.
I agree.
That's just because it's crack.
I agree.
Surely.
I absolutely agree. I mean, I'm a big Everton fan, and they're my main team, and I love them, and I support them, and I love to talk about football, and I love to talk about how terrible this is and how great that is, and this player is great. But like, when it comes to you see it in the Euros now at the moment, like the English, so a sect of the English fans and a sect of the Serbian fans are fighting with each other, you know.
Oh, right.
And then you have to laugh then, right? Because I heard on was it Talk Sport? I think it was Simon Jordan going, "This is not representative." This is not representative of, but if it's not representative, why are ye the only cunts doing it then? Why are Spain fans not fighting? Why are the Albanian fans not getting dug in? Why are the French fans not getting? It's always the English fans. So year cunts, and it's like you've been ruling the world and taking over through violence and you know what? Stop it.
Sports. Sports.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No, that was heartfelt.
Yeah. Sports. Welcome back to the sports.
That's it. That's the arena for it. Sports.
So before the podcast started, we were having a look. We're not going to go through all of the games next week because really
we did that last week.
We did last week, exactly. And the Jeopardy doesn't really start until the knockout stages, but we're still in the group stages. By this time next week, group stages will be coming to an end.
Good games.
What has been your game of the tournament so far?
The Turkey-Georgia game was a very good game. So that was a high scoring game. I like, in fairness, I just like, like I said, all those big games, those big tournaments, there's something on the line, even in the group stage. So I just I fall in and I like it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not a typical soccer man.
You're not, no.
But for this, I kind of like, I get in love with it, you know.
But you're a sports fan.
Oh, I love sports. Any sort of sports, bar darts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you not like darts?
I don't really. No, I just don't really get it.
I never really got into the darts scene as well.
Yeah. It's not for me. But fuck.
We might have to watch an old darts thing sometime just to see if we can get into it. I wouldn't be a fan of darts. It's kind of like what are you? You're very close to the board anyway, for starters.
Yeah, what is it, 6 foot? I could be wrong. 8 foot, 6 foot. Does a young lad now take you over? He's 16, 17?
Yeah.
But that's all I know. I don't really know. Phil Taylor was my last. I said last time I watched the game, he was involved, but he's...
Yeah, Phil the Power Taylor.
But
he had an ego.
Yeah, but then again, like we're just saying, maybe you don't need it, maybe you do. Maybe you do need it to be top.
I think sometimes with the ego, they're kind of trying to convince themselves that they're great and that to power them on. So it can be, and there can be a kind of a fake it till you make it vibe. I definitely think.
Yeah, I just think ego. Yeah, when you're playing, but I don't think you should carry that ego off the field or off the fucking.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so I think if it's a subconscious thing or a thing you want to do mentally to improve your game, that's fine. But if you're a big ego to your fans,
yeah, I like humility and sense of humor. Like I remember Jamie Bullard years ago. He'd be always having a crack when he's been interviewed. Now he's no Lionel Messi either at the same time, but fuck Christ almighty, lads, you just played a fucking match in front of 50,000 people. Your team won, or even if your team lost, you're living the absolute dream.
Yeah.
You're wearing this fucking shirt that you're being paid thousands and thousands to do. Just go, I wasn't our day, mate, but fucking hell.
Yeah.
It's a bit of crack, wasn't it?
So remember the time he cowered away from Duncan Ferguson?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Fucking, he's just brilliant. That's the thing, I think you forget, I suppose, every child, well, not every, but most children want to be fucking Premiership stars or get an opportunity to play in front of 60, 70,000 people.
Week in, week out.
Maybe they forget, though, every week.
I think you do.
It's so pressure, and it's just pressure, and it's just, if you're not good enough, you're cut out.
Well, it's kind of like stand-up in a way. I remember when I started doing stand-up, I was like, oh my God, I just, the dream was to someday be able to get paid to do what I'm doing here for the love of doing it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, even though now we're getting paid, we're professional comics and all that kind of stuff. Like sometimes you just don't you don't see the wood from the trees, and it's like the actual journey is what is enjoyable here. Anyway, that was a little bit of a philosophical sideway. We're looking at we had a look pre-podcast to see where next week's bet is, and we looked at the hurling, we looked at the football, we looked at the soccer, and we kind of agreed on all the hurling results. We kind of agreed on all the football results. Gaelic football results. And then there was one match in the soccer where I think we found a bet. We found next week's bet.
We found a bet, yeah.
So it's €10. There's no draw in this. A draw is a non-bet. It is a match that's starting next Monday. It's Croatia. The mighty Croats. He's going for them again.
They won't let me down a second time.
They lost 3-0 the last time. This guy's going for them again. And he's going for them again. And again, who are they playing? Mino?
They're playing against the Italians.
Italy.
No, it's going to be a do or die game because I predict
former World Cup winners a couple of times. They've won the World Cup a few times. How many times have Croatia won the World Cup?
And you know what? Well, they came third. Do you know, I especially has my heart for Italy. Actually, they beat England last time round in the.
I love Italy.
Yeah,
I love Italy.
Their defensive sort of. Remember fucking Maldini and
Costa Corta.
Geez, they were handsome men as well, weren't they?
Oh my God.
Cannavaro, Maldini. I mean,
Cannavaro. Well, Maldini. Do you know Maldini? Right, his father played. We're talking Paolo Maldini. That was our pump. His father played for AC Milan. Paolo Maldini plays for AC Milan. I know Paolo Maldini's son plays for AC Milan.
No, his son. No way. Is his son a good player? I didn't.
I think it's Daniel Maldini.
And centre half. Where is he?
Let's Google him.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Let's Google him.
I like to see tradition. That's very cool because in modern day football now tradition is probably dead. Like, so that's multi generations playing with Milan.
Maldini's son. Daniel,
yeah, fair play.
Yeah, and look, he's gorgeous as well. Jesus Christ, Daniel, I'd ride you into battle. So how old is he? 22. Yeah. He's 6'2". He's an attacking midfielder. He's on loan. He's in Monza at the moment. He's on loan from AC Milan. So he's played 15 times for AC Milan.
That's some going. That's some pedigree as well. Though.
Yeah.
The Italian under 15s, under 19s, under 20.
6'2". Will we have one look at his cheekbones? Like, just let's have a.
I mean, like, he's destined to be a footballer, isn't he? I mean, your dad played with AC Milan. Your granddad played with AC Milan. Like,
and he's already played 15 times for them.
Yeah.
Look there. That's the picture of all three of them.
I wonder
which one now would you ride?
I don't base on looks. I have to get to know the people first. So to turn the question back on you, who would you go for? The granddad.
If I had to make love with one of the Maldini brothers or Maldini generation, who would I make love to? Would I make love to Paolo? He's very good looking. He's got those eyes.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of draw me in eyes. Yeah.
Like I'm a fully heterosexual man, but these are. Do you know who I wouldn't make love to? Is their father. The grandfather. Look at him there. The black and white photograph.
That's a very grainy photo though. He could be very handsome in the flesh. Like. Is he still about?
I don't know. Just seeing if you can add him on Facebook. I'd say you'd probably have to go.
Judging him on this photo now, not the granddad as he is now, I assume.
I'm judging on that photograph there, which is a grainy photograph. Yeah. But all jokes aside, they're very handsome men. I'd probably. Well, look, what's that?
Imagine if you were listening to this podcast looking for some insight, like genuine insight on the sports that's happening around the world. Who would I ride? Which one of the Maldinis?
Which one of the Maldini clan would I suck off? All of them.
Oh my God! If my wife actually listens to this,
there's no chance. There's no chance. There's no chance. There's no chance.
Taste in podcast.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Oh, look, that's a better photograph of him there now, right? In colour. So the father's name was Cesare Maldini, and he played with AC Milan from 1954 to 1966.
It's racist comment with the accent, you know?
But how is that racist, putting on an Italian accent?
I think it's just a bit much, isn't it? Like
that is the Italian accent. That is
and the hand. Yeah, that's better.
Paolo Maldini played from 1984 to 2009. That's a fucking long career, man.
Yeah.
2009, 84,
I
94,
assume that's with the
2004.
What?
20 fucking 4 years, mate.
That's when he was involved with the youths, obviously, as well, all the way up.
25 years, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know. That's no. They
Well, I
usually
mean-
just do that from when he because this is when Daniel Maldini started in 2020.
5 years. So he stopped playing when he was 40 odds, or 44, 45, sure. Or maybe he broke on team at 18.
He probably could have broke on at
17,
17, 18
Yeah.
and played up till 2000. I think I
2009, it's crazy. So his son just started 11 years after him.
yeah, Paolo.
Jeez.
I'm taking Paolo out of the three of them.
Yeah, he's very handsome, alright. Like,
Yeah.
and he's,
We love you, Paolo. How do we get onto that, man?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's our bet. Is so Italy. We were talking Italy and Croatia. We're
Yeah.
putting a tenner on it.
Yeah.
Um,
And it could be a do or die game because Croatia now have 1 point. Like Italy potentially would only have 3 points because I fancy Spain to beat them today. So Spain or like Italy, they're the masters of getting
Yeah.
a draw. They're masters of being defensive, always have been, whatever. So Croatia will be up against, but I fancy Croatia to win.
okay, and the draw is no bet.
No bet for
Okay.
draw, unless you want to give me the draw. But the draw doesn't mean anything for Croatia anyway. It won't
No.
do, so
So we must try and find a little side €5 bet just in case that's a draw somewhere as well. But look, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Croatia, you're going for Croatia. I'm
will.
going for Italy.
Yeah.
Shaking it.
it's done.
It's done.
It's done.
It's done. Brilliant. I've got a $5 up there already anyway.
No,
so
you-
it'd be
I
nice
know,
to
I
have
know
a
you
little-
need it, so I'm happy to oblige.
It'd be nice to have the tenner now, like with it next week. That'd be 15, and because I'm going on holidays there in a few weeks. So
Where are you after?
go to Paris.
Paris, very
Yeah,
nice.
Going to Paris for.
Should have held out for the Olympics. You could have done it some fucking podcast there. You could have interviewed.
I probably wouldn't be any good in the Olympics this stage. My knee is fucked, and like I'm carrying a bit of weight, and
shot put.
yeah,
You know,
look into it.
they're bulky boys, like
Look into it. Look
Yeah.
into it. So that's the prediction for next week, the Croatia Italy match. And we'll see how we get on with that. And then we were looking then at the GA. So big weekend.
Yeah.
In the GA this weekend. Cork are out twice. We're playing on Saturday in the hurling.
Yeah.
And we're playing on Sunday in the football. Now we'll start briefly with the hurling. I know you're not a massive hurling fan.
I know, in fairness, I do watch the games. I just find the Dublin Kilkenny game was a disaster. Dublin they always kind of flatter to deceive, don't they?
Yeah.
Like they can be great in the fucking in a game that doesn't mean a whole pile, but then when it comes to fucking
Well, they beat Galway in Galway the week before, and that would have taken an awful lot out of them as well.
Yeah.
An awful lot out of them. But the thing is, what I'd say about Dublin, right, is when you're talking about hurling, you're talking about there's Kilkenny are a Champions League team.
yeah.
Clare, Limerick, Cork are Champions League teams. Dublin are,
They're a mediocre.
they're
Premier
championship
League
team. They're like mediocre Premier League team. They're still an excellent hurling team.
Oh, of course.
Like
yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, once you get to a certain level at hurling in Ireland, the gap is too big.
Yeah.
The gap is too big. Now Dublin are excellent. They beat Galway. Galway are fucking excellent.
Like in a one-off game, okay, they could, but they won't do consistently. Like they will not. They will not win the Ireland. They won't win 2 or 3 hard games.
Well, I have a bet
No.
with a friend of ours made back in 2008 for 20 years for €100, right? He's disputing this bet now already, okay? He told me...
Name shame if he doesn't fucking pay
I
up.
won't because he's odd, but I'll tell you off afterwards.
Okay.
You definitely know him, but he has... We had a bet, and this is a legitimate bet inside. We were living with each other at the time. €100. He told me that Dublin would win a senior All-Ireland inter-county final within 20 years. Now he's got what are we? That was 2008. We're in 2004 now.
Yeah,
he's got 4 years to get there.
4 years, yeah.
He's got no chance.
I can't see it happening.
He's got no chance, and that's
No, they have evolved. They've developed into a good inter-county hurling team, but not a team that's going to contest an All-Ireland final.
You hit the nail on the head. When we made the bet back in 2008, they were so bang average. I was like, I'll take this bet. I'll take it all down. But there's been a lot of work behind the scenes with Dublin. An awful lot of work in youth development. And they now are a very, very, very solid hurling side. Very solid hurling side that will hold their own with almost any team in the country outside the top 5.
Yeah, that's a fair comment.
And but it's just so... The gap between the top 5 and the rest of the country is so massive. That being said, it's in Thurles. It's on an early day. It's an early game. Cork struggled against Offaly last week. They only pulled away in the last few minutes, in the last 10 minutes. You can never tell. But I wouldn't put a penny on Dublin to win that match.
I was about to jump in there, but fair enough.
I wouldn't put a penny.
No, Cork will win that.
Yeah.
Cork will win that.
And then that brings us on to... So we both agreed on that. And that brings us on then to what I think is the most fascinating match of the whole weekend on the planet.
No, see, now in fact, we drove over, and you kind of you had a few solid points about Loud. I kind of dismissed them initially. Now it's obviously easier game of the draw, so Cork had a good draw there.
Well, you what happened, right? So basically, right, we're in it's called the preliminary quarterfinal. Okay, so there are 4 games in the preliminary quarterfinal, and we could have drawn Derry. We could have drawn.
Well, we could have drawn. It was Galway or Mayo. Derry would have.
Oh yeah, sorry, Galway, Mayo,
and then Tyrone. We couldn't.
We couldn't have got Tyrone.
Yeah.
Or Louth, and Louth on paper are the weakest of those 3 teams.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that they're not, but that I would have definitely, if given the choice, I would have picked to play Louth. Definitely.
Yeah.
That being said, Louth have already beaten us this year. They've already beaten us in their park. What's their park called? Breffni Park, isn't it? It's not Breffni Park, is it? What's the name of their ground? Fuck's sake, what's the name of Louth's ground? They say silence is bad for podcasts.
Oh, sorry, I was meant to jump in there and say something.
I don't know what the name of their ground is.
Maybe we should have.
We should have probably had that.
We could be heading there actually Sunday.
Well, we're going there Sunday. We need to find out the fucking name of the place. Earliest records of an intercounty football match took place in 1712. 1712, the earliest.
Kind of double sweepers.
Louth played Meath at Slane. A fragment of a poem from an 1806 record of a football match between Louth and Fermanagh at Anishkeen, County Monaghan. Wow, that's amazing. 1712, there was a football match between Meath and
what
Louth.
were the rules like? They're changing the rules now, aren't they? Or thinking about changing them?
4 points for a goal. I think it's a great rule.
Well, 4 points for a goal, very good.
2 points if you score outside the exclusion zone.
Is that going to be very hard? What if a person is just right on the edge, and when did they make contact with the ball? Who's going to look at that? And
well, they'll just have to bring in some sort of a VAR. But would this happen in like a regular fucking senior football, now club football, intermediate football? Well, I'd say what will probably happen is it'll be introduced first of all at the highest level.
Yeah,
and it'll be tried. 4 points for a goal is very easy to.
Oh, that's fine.
To do. But even 2 points for outside the exclusion, if the ref has to be on the ball,
there's no way a ref can suss that out. Even in the top league, Premier League, with linesmen, that their sole job is to.
You could easily see if you're outside the D kicking the ball.
But when did he make contact? Of the ball, was it when he's fucking? It could be touch or go. Did he make contact with the ball? Was he inside the D, just outside the D? The referee could be 10 yards behind. He could be behind the play.
Well, look, it's no different.
Last kick of the game, Cornelius.
But it's no different than, did he pull him down? Did he pull his jersey? Did he just trip? Do you know what I mean? You have to use your eyes. You have to use judgment. And I think.
I don't know. I just think last kick of the game. I just think sometimes free can be very subjective. Whereas this now with cameras, it can be very black and white. It'd be like he was 2 foot outside. That shouldn't have been this. Yeah. That shouldn't have been 2 foot.
Something has to happen though, Pete.
No, I completely agree. I just think that's a tough rule to enforce. Could you just imagine last kick of a semi-final? Referee gets it wrong, which he could easily. There's no referee who can catch all that. I don't know how they're going.
Well, I think I'm going to push back. Right, I'm going to push back because there's so many decisions referees have to make. At the end of the day, if a fella kicks the ball, you see where he's standing. You know, and if it's the last kick of the game, the referee's not looking up at the sun either.
No, but that's the thing. It could be just literally 5 meters behind play.
And something has to change. I'm the only reason I'm saying I don't really pushing. Something has to change, even if it is difficult to officiate, even if they have to get a second ref on or something like that, or the linesmen are more culpable. They just have to be more switched on because there's no jeopardy in football now at the moment.
Oh no!
If you're Kerry and you're playing Cork in an All-Ireland semi-final, right, above in Croke Park, you know, and you're up 6 points with 10 minutes to go, right, and you're just you can close the game out.
Yeah,
you can close the game out.
Yeah.
But if you're up 6 points, at Cork go, lads, and the next thing Cork get a ball and it comes into the fucking half-forward line and he kicks the ball over the bar from outside the exclusion, and suddenly it's a one score game.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
They have to make changes because the game it's stagnant.
I completely agree. And are they doing something with the amount of forwards that must stay in the?
So there's talks of you have to have 3 men behind the 3 men in your defensive area at all times. Because at the moment, no, all the teams, it's basically everybody comes in, everybody comes up, and everybody comes back down.
Yeah, everybody comes back up. You must have three defensive lads, so they're not just. So there'll be more space.
So there'll be more space.
Yeah, I like that. I just think the other route, although it's great and how you fucking put it across sounds good, I just think it's very difficult to enforce. There's going to be loads of arguments. There's going to be fucking loads of... I think it's going to be very difficult, I think, for the referee. Even more pressure on the referee.
Okay, I'll ask you this question, right? Okay, take out any controversy out of it, right? Take the decision making out of it. Let's just say you live in a perfect world.
Great idea.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Because then it's not the player's responsibility to referee the game. It's up to the GAA to officiate that game to make sure that the rules are enforced. Because if they are enforced, that is rewarding. That's rewarding a savage skill, like, you know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I think it'll pose too many problems. I think the referee will get it wrong too many times. I think it'll just be I can't see it lasting. Like, could you imagine even in the fucking intermediate games, junior games? I just don't think it's practical. In the practical sense, I don't think it'll work. But I hope I'm wrong, because the way you paint it, it would actually be brilliant if it to 6 points down to 4 points, 1 goal. And straw. Yeah. Fantastic. In the ideal world, fantastic. I just, they've obviously thought about this. They obviously thought about how they're going to fucking enforce it. Yeah. And how it's going to be looked at. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it works out.
I think to enforce it anyway, they have to make the D a lot more prominent. Yeah. And maybe even colour it a different colour. Yeah. And maybe one official on the line that makes the call. Would official be able to see that from the line? Like, I think you should have, I think there should be, and this is another thing, right? So you have a linesman either side, and you have a referee that's running up and down and watching it, and then there should be 2 other referees in each half. You know, like Aussie rules. Yeah, they'd be floating about. Yeah. So there's a floating ref in each half, and they're able to consult with each other straight away. Another rule that they're after bringing in as well is that only the captain can speak to the referee, like in rugby. I think that's a great rule. They've brought that in with soccer as well, haven't they? I don't know. Have they brought it in with soccer? One of the commentators mentioned it now, because rather than referees being fucking set upon by 8 players. Do you remember Roy Keane back in the day? Oh, man. Jesus Christ almighty, you'd shit your pants if he came against you. Was that David Ellery? Yeah. Was the referee? Jesus, yeah. And there was like a gang of men, like Phil Neville, Solskjaer, Ronnie Jansen, Roy Keane. You see the spit coming out. It was just fucking, it was a bit mad, like. But no, that's great. Actually, if they had 2 floating referees, I could I don't know how they'd officiate it now. And that's the idea that I just had there. I don't know if that would work. I think that would be a good idea. No, just again. But just even think about it yourself now, Pete, right? You're playing championship for Ballyclaw, like this year, okay? And, you're down 6 points. Hope is not gone with 6 points. Yeah. Whereas in football, hope is completely eviscerated with 10 minutes. They're down 6 points. Come on, we'll get into the car. We'll get out of here. Yeah. Whereas in hurling, 9 points isn't even a fucking safe lead nowadays. 4 or 5 minutes, it could be eradicated. And that's what you want. There needs to be jeopardy coming into the late stages of the matches. But we're going, anyway, we've gone a bit of a tangent there, which is great. But we're going to the match this weekend where it is all jeopardy. Cork are playing Louth in a preliminary quarter-final. Louth are managed by a guy called Ger Brennan, who was involved with that very famous Dublin team that won all those All-Irelands. He was playing with them, wasn't he, Ger Brennan? He was on and off that team. Was he? Okay. Yeah. And he has them playing really, like Mickey Hart was manager with them last year. You've seen them now in the league? I haven't seen them this year. Okay. I saw them last year in the league. I didn't see them this year. And what did you think? Last year, I thought that they were plucky. They've got 1 or 2 good forwards. Connor Grimes, I think, is their main forward. He's their marquee man. He's excellent. And but they've got 1 or 2 other forwards now as well. And they looked like throughout the league, they looked really solid. But what I've watched a bit of them on the Sunday game now as well, and I watched a match they played about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and they're modern day football team. But do you know what now? They've got the skin tight jerseys. They're kind of like a Nordy team, even though they're Leinster. Yeah. And they're fucking bulky men. They're filling the jersey. They're super fit. They super love it. Sometimes they're prone now to a red card, like, as well. They're prone to a little bit of a fucking fisticuffs and stuff like that. But the fact that they came second in their group over Monaghan, and Monaghan, as I was saying to you before we got on, Monaghan have been a mainstay for fucking 15 years, right at the top echelons. They would have been at the top 10. They're knocking on the door, and Cork, really and truly, are only barely top 10 anyway. So there's not a whole pile between us. Yeah. So traditionally, we wipe the fucking floor with them. That's the traditional outlook. And I mean, traditionalists will say we should be beating Louth. and we should be beating Louth, but there are no walkovers. It's a knockout game. It's above and their ground.
Jeez, you're making me looking forward to go to this
The
game.
weather's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's the ground is going to be all red and white because they're red and white as well. We'll be playing in white, which is kind of cool, or in black or black, which is kind of cool.
Would there be many Cork supporters go up there now?
Cork football supporters.
Myself, yourself, and I'm not. I wouldn't be.
There'll be a cohort, but it'll be tiny compared to the hurling. It'll be especially because it's on loud.
Yeah.
It'll be tiny, but it'll be fucking electric, and it'll be interesting. It's a real test for Cork because everything's against Cork.
Yeah,
we're away from home. We're against an emerging team. We're in a small stadium.
Yeah, I wonder, do we do well with being favourites too?
And we don't do well with being favourites.
Yeah,
you know, we lost there by a point in the league, so there's nothing between us.
We kind of have everything to lose. Now, if you lose against Louth, now you made valid points about Louth, but a lot of people like I wouldn't be a huge fucking follower of
yet
of
you might get them into it.
But like, for me, I would predict they'll actually take Louth.
Yeah.
Handy, and if they don't, it's a disaster.
And that's exactly it. And that's the layman's opinion, and I would be a very normal opinion because, like, you know, Cork have won several fucking All-Irelands, you know.
Yeah, we still consider them a powerhouse now. We do, like.
We're kind of known as a sleeping giant now.
Yeah.
Even last year, I mean, we beat Mayo last year, we beat Roscommon last year, we had some scalps last year in the championship. We genuinely, and we're an emerging team, and even I was at the Donegal match there a couple of weeks ago in Parky Ring, and I was like, fucking it was one of the best days of this year, like, for me, like, in life, you know. It was just so amazing, like.
Yeah.
So it would be considered a disaster by the general public, but what I'm saying is there's a word of caution. We could be coming home crying on Sunday, you know.
Still chips though, yeah. Still getting chips.
Definitely getting
We're
chips.
crying to our chips.
But when we were talking about this game, right, before we came on, we were talking about a game. What's your memory of Louth? If I had to say to you, all right, okay, we're playing Louth football, what do you know about Louth football?
That goal. And anybody that watches GA will know that goal in the Leinster final against Meath.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I was livid. That was, how many years ago? 14 years ago, Cornelius?
So 2010.
14 years ago.
The 11th of July, 2010. Joe Sheridan broke Meath hearts when he caught the ball and threw it into the net illegally. But like you're talking here now, right? About not being able to officiate rules. This was one of the most blatant fouls of all time, and it was a Leinster final. Louth would have won the Leinster final. I'll actually say this: they have been broken since then. They're only emerging now, 14 years later. They are being broken since then. I remember the manager; he had a bit of a speech impediment. He went into politics afterwards. He was just distraught. The referee was assaulted by Louth fans. We'd want to be very careful up there.
Yeah,
they're fucking violent enough, lads. Like, you know.
I feel bad for the ref. Though. Like, look at we have a picture up here. You can see the umpire is so close.
Yeah.
To the play, like how they didn't spot it, like, or at least back 14 years ago, I assume there was still a good communication between the umpire and the referee. Like, I mean, just wave the hand, call him over, and say, "Lad, he actually threw that in."
Yeah.
You know, we can the picture here. You can see the umpire behind the net looking straight at Joe Sheridan. Throw the ball in.
Yeah. This is the thing with humans, right? There's so much more going on. You know, if you're like, that was wide, ref, and then there's like fucking 8 big monstrous men, Meath monsters in on top of you, roaring at you. That was a proper goal, ref. That was a proper goal. Do you know what I mean? It takes
you know what? It doesn't happen a whole pile of time, does it?
Yeah.
You know, there's a fucking kind of rigmarole right in the 6-yard box, or I say 6-yard box, right in the box, right in the small square. Bodies are flying everywhere. Ball just happens to go into the net. Are you brave enough to hold up your hand and say, actually,
he fouled that ball? He
fouled that ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meath, the
whole stadium is erupting like fucking salmon fucking leaping out of the black water.
Yeah. It's saying, actually, hold up there a second.
Yeah. Actually, stop celebrating. No, he threw it.
Yeah.
Like, so that's where it kind of comes in. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Even looking at the score there, it was 110 to 112. It's a score that you don't see that often, even in Gaelic football anymore. Like, I mean, that's a low scoring game now. Like, but in the modern day.
See, Leinster final Louth against Meath. We won't get that for another fucking, I don't know how long.
Well, Dublin have won 5 in a row now, man.
Is it 5 now?
5 in a row, and like,
how many Leinster titles in a row? Though? They must have.
I think they won. Have they won 5 Leinster titles in a row? Is it?
They've surely won more than that. Yeah.
I thought it was 5 for
let's
some
have a look
reason.
at that. Jeez, I'd be surprised. Who would have fucking taken him off the pedestal within the last 5 years? Like,
Hey Google, how many Leinster football titles have Dublin won in the last 10 years? How many league titles have they won? So they've won 63 Leinster titles.
a bad number.
How many? How many titles have Leinster won? How many titles? Is it going to give us the list? How many leagues?
Yeah, go to Leinster Senior Football Championship Wikipedia. Click on that, and they should show the winners.
Not so clever. That's a clever idea, young Carl. So
Yeah,
the holders are Dublin 63. This is 6.
They've made amazing pedigree, no in fairness. So they should give us the roll of honour there. You can click on this lad here, yeah.
Roll of honour.
Yeah, I think we're at it there now, actually, yeah. So we have Dublin. Oh, yeah. So we have 2009, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
So since 2011, they won in 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
That's crazy.
24. I must be. Who am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of Limerick. Sorry, I'm thinking Limerick in the hurling. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 in a row.
And Cornelius, look at this, like they won 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. The only one that they didn't win was that 2010 that we just spoke about. The Mead
one. Yeah,
that's crazy. Like,
so since 2005,
they haven't been.
They've lost one.
They've lost one. Yeah, it's one time they weren't in the final.
Something has to change there. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right, we've talked about Maldini, we've talked about the GAA, we've talked about...
we've made our bet.
We've made our bet.
I don't think you're willing to take a side bet on Louth and Cork, are you? I mean, you've talked a good game for Louth now. Are you willing to...
Would I?
You won't back against Cork, I suppose?
No way.
Okay.
I'd sooner just not bet than back against the Rebels, boy.
Fair enough.
So we're going to finish up, but we want to just talk about. We want to try and cover 3 sports in every single one of these episodes, and we've done the
soccer.
Football,
we've done the GA, yeah.
So we were looking there earlier on.
Now I know Rory. He kind of apparently threw away the golf over the weekend, but I just don't know enough about golf.
The thing that kind of took our fancy was we were looking at Djokovic. He's after being confirmed to play in the Paris Olympics. Novak Djokovic. Where's he from, Pete?
He's Serbian, I believe.
He's a Serb.
Man. Yeah.
He's a very divisive character altogether.
Yeah, he came really into fucking world news with COVID. He wasn't willing to take the jab. Sure, he wasn't.
No.
And then he was kind of banned from a few of those competitions.
Australia.
Was it Australia when he couldn't go to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he has kind of emerged now as the greatest of all time.
Yeah, sure. I mean, look at his career. How old is he? Is he 37? And he's still fucking contesting.
Yeah.
And he's amazing. Yeah.
I would have always looked at him as kind of over the years as the kind of the third after Nadal and what's the other fella's name?
Federer.
And Federer. And like people say kind of like, oh yeah, well Federer. Like I mean, technically Federer he's kind of like the Cristiano Ronaldo of tennis.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. But I think he comes across more humble though, in terms of personality-wise. Like I think he's.
Does he?
I think he's more jovial, more kind of funny. I would think so. Yeah.
I thought he was a fucking bollocks.
No, the impression I get is no, in fairness, the impression I get is very short YouTube clips where he's messing around with the audience and messing around with the ball boys and ball girls.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Novak. Oh yeah, dude, we're calling him Novak Djokovic. Then second, hey Google, what's Novak Djokovic like as a person?
What is Novak Djokovic like as a person? Very down to earth and chilled. You can watch the subtitle interview in advice. In Serbian, he is somehow way more expressive.
Well, there you go now.
Yeah.
He's actually a very down-to-earth and chill kind of a character.
Apparently, but where's this? This is Reddit, so we're getting this information from some randomer in Reddit, and Reddit that could be from.
He's very down-to-earth altogether. Fair play to him. But he's confirmed now into the old Olympics as.
Do you know what I seen yesterday? Speaking about the Olympics, sorry, no, breakdancing is now a sport in the Olympics. Yeah.
You could enter.
I went to one dance class once.
Didn't you try out for breakdancing at one
Myself and
stage?
Timmy Horn, Timmy, if you ever watch this, yeah. Oh man, we were absolutely fucking atrocious. Yeah, the teacher tried to get us to go the following week, but like we were like,
Two fucking lads up from Ballyclaw up to the city to do a breakdancing day. Let's do some breakdancing, Timmy. Come on. Look, I'm seeing an ad here in the Mallow Star.
it was horrific.
How much was it for the class?
Probably 10 or 50 euro. No wonder she went to the spec, but I think we were just raw material. She could have worked with us and made it.
You're basically saying, like, I mean, if you went back,
I could have been on the LL Cool J video, I think. That's what I'm saying.
You could
I could have done that.
be fucking representing Ireland in the Olympics, man.
In the breakdancing.
Like, come on now. Dancing is not a sport.
I tell you what they're trying to do. They're trying to get a younger audience to watch the Olympics, and breakdancing is a young man, a young girl sport, so it's included in the Olympics. Yeah. I seen actually a segment of it, and I changed that. I wouldn't have much interest, but it was on Eurosport, and they're profiling that sport.
I hate that they're doing that now. Like, I mean, I love the integrity of the Olympics. There's some sports in the Olympics that I just watch every 4 years.
Yeah, like
gymnastics.
Oh, they're unbelievable. Pound for pound, probably the best athletes in the world.
Gymnastics is, and I love it all.
Yeah,
I love the horse. I love the fucking ribbon. The ribbon one is brilliant.
They're two different brands. Yeah, that's a rhythmic gymnastic, and the other one then is the standard ones.
I love, my favourite one is the woman's individual gymnastics when they have to go out onto the hall, onto the mat, and do a routine.
Yeah. The floor route. It's like floor. Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Some power, and it's some pressure. One mistake, and especially when they're competing with the team. So your one mistake could cost your entire nation.
Yeah.
A medal.
A
slip.
My second favourite one, and it's only second favourite, is I absolutely love the bars.
The bars very good.
The two bars. Do you know when you have the bottom one and the top one, and they're swinging? The men's bars are fucking, because you can see they're fucking swinging around in it, and you can hear the noise off it, and it's like, I absolutely love the gymnastics.
Yeah, the rings are amazing. Actually.
And rings are, if
you want to see a show of strength.
Yeah. Definitely rings from like even just holding themselves up.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff
call
like
that crucifix position. The hands are outstretched and they're able to hold up their entire body weight in that position. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I would tell you now, once the Olympics are over, I wouldn't see it for 4 years, and I wouldn't seek it out. I wouldn't be like, but I could be roaring my head off for Slovenians in it, like, because Ireland are never into gymnastics. Like.
Where we've one lad who's
the forward roll is all we can do. That is all we can do.
One lad won the gold medal in the World Championships, and he had a very disappointing previous Olympics in Tokyo, and he is on the horse, and he is one of the favourites to get gold.
Shut up.
Yeah, Irish gymnastic. A gymnast. I can't remember his name, but on the horse, and
it's a sports podcast, guys. Don't expect us to know. Like, we're names. Just fans. Names. Our opinions are all wrong. Our names are vague. Do you know, what are you even doing listening to this?
They're not here.
You're gone long ago.
This is for us.
This is our thing.
This is our time.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time? And singers. And we're singers as well. We're singers, we're friends, we're podcasters.
Friends.
Yeah. What else? What do you not like? What else now don't I watch that I watch in the weightlifting? I never would tune in for weightlifting. Yeah. I find it fascinating in the Olympics.
Oh, it's brilliant. There's something about those fucking heavy weightlifters. They're the maximum, the heaviest weight division. The load that they're lifting, the power, unbelievable. What
I love about the weightlifting, right, is not the actual picking up the weight and lifting it up. I love when they zone in on the face and you can see a vein, and you're like, is that vein going to burst? And he's like, and you're like, oh, it might burst. Do you know what I mean? That kind of way.
Yeah.
And like, you just know that their sphincter is just like, you just know that every part of them is under pressure, and then they get it up, and then they just fuck it on the ground.
It's actually unbelievable. Yeah, the clean and jerk and the snatch are the most fucking.
What are the title? What do you call them?
Clean and jerk and snatch. They're fucking very, very difficult. They're technically very difficult to provide. That load, that weight. Gee, so you need power, you need strength, you need speed, everything. You need technically completely very proficient. It's amazing sport at that level. I love watching the Chinese. Like, they're just grabbed from an age, so they're
I kind of hold a grudge from the Chinese now, to be honest.
With the whole doping
Yeah.
scandal thing. Yeah.
Especially with Sonia from years ago. Do you know?
I know.
Like-
we were saying that last podcast, and the 2 Chinese girls just disappeared.
Disappeared off the
Follow
planet
the
of the Earth,
yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
with their gold medals, and Sonia there in Cove, like fucking, do you know. Anyway, but like that's why I find it, and and the Ruskies are out as well. Are they still banned?
Yeah, I feel bad in a way, but sure, that's the way it is. Poor Russian athletes have nothing to do with anything. They just can't compete. They were competing before, remember, under a different banner. It was more kind of was it? Oh, I can't remember. They're like given some sort of name, so the Russians could compete, but they couldn't compete under their flag. Just the name escapes me now. There was a few nations that could go under. So it was like an Olympic flag, but it was under some other name,
Like the Exiles or something like that.
it was you remember, during the last couple of Olympics, but I think they're completely banned out right now.
Yeah, they should ban the Israelis as well, I think, while they're at it. If they're going to be fucking, and the North Koreans, and the Chinese, and America. America should be banned as well. I mean, like... And
just Ireland, really.
Like, basically, everyone's at war. Like, they're basically just going, oh, yeah, you're at war. You're the bad guys there, we're banning you. And, like, you know, maybe they are the bad guys. I'm not saying they're whether they are or not. But, like, this is an athlete's thing. But I suppose it's just... There's so much pride as well. There's so much national pride. We are the greatest. Look how many medals we have. Like, so, like, do you ever watch that Netflix documentary called Icarus?
Yeah, it was the doping. What's that with Lance? Lance Armstrong?
No, it wasn't. It was with a cyclist, right?
Oh yes, I got mixed up. Yeah.
What actually happened was, it was this cyclist, and he was like, he loved cycling. Went into a competition, trained really hard, and finished fucking 100.
Way down.
And he was like, what the fuck? And he goes, well, sure, look, they're all on this EPO. And he was like, okay, I'm going to do a documentary where I learn how to take EPO. And he got in contact with the thing was, I'm going to take the EPO, I'm going to see exactly what it is. I'm going to tell everyone I'm cheating. Like,
what gains you can make.
But he got onto the Russian guy who was in charge of the EP, and it turned out anyway that this Russian guy was a mad fella, real character altogether.
Yeah.
And he flew over to America. Anyway, long story short, I don't want to give it away. A whole cheating expose comes out, and this guy becomes a whistleblower. This Russian expert becomes a whistleblower, and he's now in the witness protection agency in America to be kept safe. But the lengths that the Russians went to fucking cheat is mind-blowing. Check out the episode, this show. It's called Icarus. It's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix. I might even go back and watch it again. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And when I saw the links, like,
Isn't it just funny, a state-funded doping campaign? Isn't it funny? Like, yeah.
Imagine if we did that. Imagine, and they just...
What do we do? Keane O'Connor's horse.
Yeah, we gave it to the horse. We gave it to the fucking horse. But, like, imagine if they got it, they'd probably get it mixed up, and they'd be giving everyone weed. And they'd be like, oh... Can you imagine if they were all fucking stoned in the relay, like, and they're off. Cheers, the Irish fella's after having a sit down for himself. He's laughing there and he's pointing at the sky.
I just don't think we have it in us to do that. Like, I don't know. Well, look, at the top end of sport, money counts. There's sponsorship involved. You can make it a fucking make.
Humans are corrupted.
Yeah, we can be corrupt. We can't say it just because we're Irish. We won't. But it's.
We're perfect.
I just say it'd be.
We only dope the horses.
I'd be surprised. I would be.
I would be surprised.
Me, like, you know.
Like,
we're so small as well.
I put you this way: if you found out now, right, that the boys down in Clonakilty, the Roars, right, if you heard they were fucking doping, would you be surprised?
I actually would be shocked. Yeah.
I'd be shocked. Flabbergasted.
Yeah.
I'd be flabbergasted, but you never could tell. Like, I'd be. There's no way they are. I think, in my opinion, I categorically would say that there's no way they are, and I haven't heard any rumors to the contrary either. Just to put that out there, but I'm just using it as a point of principle because they're so Irish and they're so not, and they're like, you know, pull like a dog, pull like a dog, and fucking keep going. Whereas, like, if you saw the equivalent, if Russia suddenly got into it and they were there and they were all looking like Dolph Lundgren and they had the shades on and the blonde, fucking Johnny Bravo haircut, you know, and they're like, you know, Putin. I'd be like, those boys are.
There's a chance.
There's a fucking those boys are on the state sponsored stuff. You know, they're fucking on the wacky backy, the state sponsored wacky backy.
It's better. I think there's probably a lot more going on than what we'll ever know. That's what I think. Yeah, in that elite level sport where they're probably. Sure, their ability to fucking dope and get away with it is probably like progressing all the time. So, and I suppose the ability to catch them is probably catch you up, but maybe they're a step ahead, maybe they aren't. Who knows? But I wouldn't be surprised if...
I listened to a podcast there with, I was a good bit back with Rob Heffernan. Do you know the Olympian, the Irish Olympian, the walker?
Yeah.
And he was saying, like, he said, he said when he was doing the Olympics, he said there was no stone unturned. Diet, strength and conditioning, sleep, rest, like a serious schedule of grueling training sessions. And he said any legal inch that you could get, you do it. And he said you knew you were doing that, and then you were lining up on the line to go to war, and you knew that the fella that was standing beside you had done the exact same as what you had done. Looked for every single inch and took it and did everything, but also had a fucking belly full of drugs.
Oh well, yeah, they'll take him over the edge. So,
and he goes, "You are fucked from the get go." So,
well, especially that elite level campus, there's only a couple of percent anyway. Between athletes, if that, like
there is,
And sure, if you're getting if you're going to increase your performance by using by doping, I mean,
let them all. I think just let drugs be legal. Just take whatever you can, lads. Sign this waiver here, just in case you drop down dead.
And see how far we can push it.
And we'll see how far we go. Usain Bolt, he did 100 metres there in 2 seconds. He's gone very slow. He did it in a half a second last year.
Do you ever see his ad on TV, Purcell?
Brilliant.
He starts, it sounds like, he says, I'm Usain Bolt. I always think he says, I'm disabled. You ever listen to it now next time? I'm disabled. I was like, what? Honestly, God, listen to it.
I will.
Yeah.
I probably won't be able to hear anything else.
If you're out there now, listen to that. I think it's the Purcell ad.
You saying, if you're watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, will you please say, I'm Usain, have a pause, Bolt.
I'm Usain Bolt. I swear it sounds like I'm disabled.
According to the mind guy, that's what it like. I'm distancing myself from those comments, but I find it humorous nonetheless.
Just check it out.
So that's Novak Djokovic anyway. Thanks for listening to the podcast, guys. This will be going up on YouTube, so if you're listening to it and you're like, Jesus, that was brilliant, I'd like to see what these two sexy guys look like, go over to my YouTube channel.
Do you know the name now this time?
No, I'll just get it there now because I have the computer here in front of me.
Fair play.
But the computer knows after turning off.
I think the power's gone.
No, for fuck's sake.
So we'll try to plug your YouTube channel. He's no idea what it is.
Oh yes, thanks be the fuck. We're back on there now, lads. I have a YouTube channel, but also you can get it on wherever you get your podcasts. Please like and subscribe and leave a maybe leave a review. A review really helps me out genuinely. And if you've got this far and you want to see the podcast live, it's in the Cork Opera House on the 4th of September, and you can get tickets on the Cork Opera House website, or you can get them on my website, which is corneliuspatrickosullivan.com. And thanks to the Mind Guy for coming on and being a regular contributor as always. Really
Pleasure.
appreciate it. And I'm just trying to find Cornelius the Comic is the
just know that
is the YouTube. There's 438 subscribers over there, lads. I'd love to get that up to 439. And there's loads of videos. There's loads of
Jeez, you have 121 videos.
121 videos, yeah.
Fair play.
And my thing here is I need to change this comedic content with flashes of nudity. I don't know if there's any nudity in there. I don't know why I wrote that. I need to change that. Thank you so much for listening. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. And remember to stay in by the wall.
Good luck.
Bye.